Will you have enough budget to fix the infrastructure that is aging? You won't. And we are saying as hashtag Call for South Africa, when we come in, we know exactly what to do. The solutions are not complicated. Professionalize the municipality. Make sure that you train people. You put people in the places where they are supposed to be. Those who are managers who are not supposed to be managers, you have to demote them, or else they must leave the system. Bring in the right people in. And we have so many other points that we have deliberated on. For an example, in service delivery, excellent service delivery. The reason why we don't see service delivery happening on the ground, because that's where actually the government is visible in the local government. If local government is not working, the whole government is not working. But you know why it's not working? It's because 50% of the tax distribution in government is allocated for national. 40% of that is provincial. You know how much comes to the local government? With all your grants and everything that comes from national, only 10%. So tell me, if that is the picture, will you have enough budget to fix the infrastructure that is aging? You won't. The excuses say municipalities must generate their own revenue through other stuff. We know that it's not working, because we know in a town like this, and this is a fact, in a town like this, we know who's contributing to the municipality tax and rates. Only in the towns. In the townships, there's nothing that is coming from that, including teachers, policemen, all the professional middle class. They are not paying their rent. And nobody will come and switch off the lights to force them to pay. A lot of people can afford to pay, but you know why? They don't even put pressure. It's because they have said to people, everything is for mahala. And now can you go back and say to the same people that you said everything is for mahala, will you come to them and say, now you have to start to pay? We have fought it in the council to say, yes, we understand there are poor people. You know, you cannot expect a poor person to pay. And that's why the government has what we call indigenous grants, where there is a money allocated that is given to those who cannot afford. And this is applicable in every community, even in the town. We have people that have applied for indigenous, especially the elderly, that cannot now afford to pay tax and rates. Then the government must take care of that. But a policeman, a teacher, a middle class, a collarman, he can afford to pay. Why can't he pay? And we fought and we said, these people must pay. There is a system within the municipality to force those people to pay. We can garnish them. We can take their money when they get the money, when they get paid. It can be taken from there, but they don't want to, because they say, no, these are the members. Most of them are the members of the SATU, you know, Pete, members of different unions. So we will not touch them, because if we touch them, we're going to lose the votes. So what happens? 30,000 people who are living in town alone cannot be able to foot the bill of close to 1 million people in the township. It's impossible. That's why even 10% from national will not change service delivery. What are we proposing? We are proposing a reverse structure. We say 50% must come down to the local government. 40%, and we can work it out. I mean, it doesn't have to, the national doesn't have to get 10%, but at least the big chunk of the tax allocation must come where the service delivery is happening. We must cut off the number of the ministers. There are many ministries that are redundant. And we know they created those ministry posts because they wanted to give employment to their friends. We don't need 24 ministers to run this country. 24. We have 24 ministers to run the country. We are proposing 8 power ministers. 8 ministers in the cabinet. Let them bring all these ministries and departments that speaks to one another, and you have the head of department, HODs, to run those departments, and you have one minister who oversees all of these ministries, and you bundle them. And the number must come to 8. Yes. You run the country like that. You are cutting off of many billions and billions of money that goes to the salary and the PACs, the security unit, by reducing the ministry. Is it the rocket science? It's not. It's a simple, logical thing. That's what you need to do. You just do the opposite. We know countries that are run by few ministers, and they are the best run countries in the world. But we have 24 ministers. We can't even put the lights on. Now they have now brought in a new Ministry of Electricity. We have a Minister of Electricity, Minister of Energy, Minister of... Come on, people. We cannot go on like this. We can see what is happening is fraud before us. But we are allowing it. We are allowing it every day when we are voting. I'm not saying you. I know you are voting right, at least. But we cannot afford to put and to support these kind of people who do not have an interest to our people. We have a president now, as I close, during their birthday party or something. Before the nation, he needs to give a report. What have you done? And the only thing that he can show off is that they have been able to give our people 350. And recently, he threatened the same people he was bragging about and saying, if you don't vote for us, you're not going to get those 350. How pathetic. How pathetic that a man of that age, who's got children, who's got grandchildren, can have an audacity to stand before 57 to close to 60 million people in South Africa and say, I am proud that I'm giving 350 to unemployed people. An unemployment that has been caused by them deliberately. Do you know that the ANC has no inclination? And I tell this to everybody. I'm not only just telling you. I'm telling this to everybody, even in the township. They don't have any intention to create jobs. They had millions of opportunities to create jobs. In fact, there are many, hundreds and hundreds of investment and investors who came and proposed from the national level, provincial level, municipal level. I can't begin to tell you how many business people, lawyers. They are simply vote guinea pigs, our people. That's what they have reduced us to. And they have no intention. If you empower, if you give a man a job, or a woman a job, you are empowering them. You know what you are empowering them with? You are empowering them with opinion. And that's not what they want. People who are empowered, they have an opinion, they choose, they want to choose what they eat, where they eat it, at what time they want to eat, and they determine the direction of their communities, they determine the direction of their nation. And that's not what politicians want. They want them to be beggars, keep on begging. Give them 350 and create a mentality of beggars and entitlement. Young people, I met one young guy, 35 years, and he says, sir, do you know I've never worked in my life? Not because I'm lazy, because I've never had an opportunity to work. Those are the people that they want so that they can control. And that's why as Hashtag of South Africa, we have said, listen, We are not going to wait until we are in government. We are going to go into communities and we are going to impact the lives of the young people. We already have programs and projects in place that we want to work with civil movement and NPOs. We want to work with people who says we want to bring change. We are going to bring change, whether we go into parliament or not. We are not going to stop, because the battle that we are facing, we are fighting for the soul of this nation.